Sally Field is a beloved star, but got her start in a rather unassuming way. Her breakout role was playing the character of Gidget on the 1960 television series of the same name. Though it wasn't a huge success upon initial airing, it gained traction in reruns. Join Factsverse as Sally Field tells all about her Gidget role. Sally Field didn't know what to do with her life. When Sally Field received the role of Gidget on the television series of the same name, she was 18 years old. She had just graduated from high school and was unsure of her future. She had acted in several drama productions during high school and didn't have many ambitions when it came to a career. On a whim, she decided to attend an open audition at Columbia Pictures in the hope she might find a future in the entertainment industry. The studio was looking for a teenage girl to play a character in an upcoming show. That show was Gidget. According to Sally, she felt like a fish out of water when she came to Columbia. She found herself amongst a plethora of young women who had much more acting experience. There were said to have been hundreds of young women at the open audition, and Sally felt like she had no chance. When it finally came time for her to perform, she was apparently so flustered she could hardly bring herself to do it. Despite the fact that Sally flubbed her audition, there was something about her presence that won over the studio execs at Columbia. She won the role of Gidget over hundreds of other girls, and it led her on the path to becoming one of Hollywood's biggest stars. Given the way she received her first role, it was a major transition when she became the lead on a sitcom. She went from unassuming high school student with no real ambitions to TV star. Sally's indifference came from childhood abuse. One of the reasons Sally didn't have many ambitions as a young adult was because she came from a troubled home. Her mom had aspired to be an actress herself, but couldn't cut it. Her father was out of the picture, and her stepfather allegedly molested her. Sally claims the darkness of her childhood inspired her to find an outlet in her high school drama department, which was what led her down the path to being a famous actress. The TV series Gidget was very much a product of its time. Though the show only lasted a single season, it proved incredibly influential and became popular in reruns. The show followed the character of Gidget, a teenage surfer. The concept for the show actually had real-life origins, as it was based on a book written about an actual teenage surfer who went by the nickname of Gidget. When the show came on the air, there were no options for programs aimed at the teenage demographic. All shows were either aimed at kids or at adults. Though Gidget didn't find immediate success, it had a lasting impact on the media that can still be seen today. The teenage surfer it was based on was named Kathy Conner. The book about her was also named Gidget. In addition to the Sally Field starring TV series, the book also led to the creation of a series of films. In fact, the character of Gidget graced the big screen several years before the TV series came on. The most notable Gidget film is the first one released in 1959. It featured Sandra Dee in the role of Gidget. There were 2 more films before the TV series came, and each of these featured a different actress in the titular role. Some might claim Sandra Dee was the most iconic Gidget, but the majority believe that title belongs to Sally Field. The Gidget TV series premiered in 1965 before being canceled in '66. It wasn't until the show began airing in reruns that it finally started garnering a following. This video is brought to you by Established Titles. Have you ever been interested in being a lord or a lady? With Established Titles, now you can become one. For real. You could officially change your name to Lord or Lady and get it on your credit card, plane tickets, etc. You can even get it on your dating profiles. You can purchase title packs that give you at least 1 square foot of dedicated land on a private estate in Edelston, Scotland. With the purchase, you'll receive an official certificate with a crest. Your certificate features a unique plot number with which you can see the exact location of your land. Established Titles told me that the first 200 people purchasing a title pack using my link will effectively be next to my plot within a few minutes of walking. Depending on how many of you want to become a lord or a lady, we can build our little Factsverse kingdom. They plant a tree with every order and work with global charities, One Tree Planted and Trees for the Future, to support global reforestation efforts. It makes an amazing last-minute gift. Established Titles is actually running an early Black Friday sale, plus if you use the code FV10, you get an additional 10% off. Go to establishedtitles.com/FV10 to get your gifts now and help support the channel. Gidget wasn't successful initially, but it was influential. The TV series Gidget featured the titular character breaking the fourth wall in every episode to address the audience about said episode's events. Though this was revolutionary for the time, the concept of a young adult protagonist breaking the fourth wall in a sitcom has since become a trope. This is just one of the many ways that Gidget can be seen as influential. In 1967, Sally was given the opportunity to head a second sitcom with The Flying Nun. Today, Gidget is much more fondly remembered than The Flying Nun, but The Flying Nun was actually a much bigger success at the time. After The Flying Nun ended, Sally flirted with big screen success over the course of the 70s, before finally attaining it with 1977's Smokey and the Bandit. That film saw Sally share the screen with Burt Reynolds, who fell in love with her over the course of filming. Reynolds went to his deathbed saying that Sally Field was the love of his life, but Sally disagreed. Most of the world was smitten with Sally after her performance in Smokey and the Bandit, but it was her work in 1979's Norma Ray that really proved she had dramatic chops. The film showcased the actress as a single mother tasked with unionizing a mill, and Sally's performance resulted in her receiving an Academy Award for Best Actress. Sally rises to superstardom. Sally won another Academy Award for Best Actress thanks to 1984's Places in the Heart. By the 90s, she was considered Hollywood royalty. She continued appearing in major hits over that decade, two of them being Mrs. Doubtfire and Forrest Gump. Mrs. Doubtfire was released in 1993 and starred Robin Williams as a father cross-dressing as a nanny to win his kids back. Sally Field played the mom, and many critics felt her grounded and naturalistic performance was the glue holding the film's ridiculous premise together. Her role in Mrs. Doubtfire wasn't a gigantic one, but it was integral to the success of the film. The same could be said of Sally's role in 1994's Forrest Gump. She was cast in the role of Forrest's mother. She proved to be the backbone of the movie in the eyes of many critics. Sally is still working in the entertainment industry today, and two of her most notable recent roles include her turns in the films The Amazing Spider-Man and Lincoln. The casting agent behind The Amazing Spider-Man likely saw Sally in the role of Forrest Gump's mother and thought she'd be perfect to play Aunt May in the franchise. Sally played Aunt May to Andrew Garfield's Peter Parker, and she reprised the role in the film's sole sequel. In the current iteration of the Spider-Man franchise, the much younger Marissa Tomei plays the role. In the biopic Lincoln, which was directed by Steven Spielberg, Sally played Lincoln's wife. Sally is still working today. In 2015, Sally returned to her habit of playing titular characters with the role of Doris in the film Hello, My Name is Doris. The film was a critical success, though not many people have seen it. In 2018, she appeared in another critically acclaimed work. This time it was the TV series on Netflix called Maniac, which also starred Emma Stone and Jonah Hill. In 2020, she appeared on the AMC series Dispatches from Elsewhere. Both series lasted only one season. Maniac was only intended as a single-season series, while Dispatches from Elsewhere just wasn't a success. Currently, Sally is performing a role on the HBO series Winning Time: The Rise of the Lakers Dynasty. The show premiered in 2022, and it appears a second season is on the way. She's also set to appear in a handful of films, including one called Spoiler Alert in 2022. Now it's time to hear from you. What's your favorite role of Sally Field's? Let us know in the comments section below.